feel like everything is
Yeah, he said he was ready, like the minute you stood up.
Yeah. Okay.
We're ready.
All right, I am calling our May 27th Ad-Hoc committee for the board's professional development plans to order. Thank you, Dr. Alpha and her team for being with us today. And I will kick it off to you all to start us off.
Dr. Robbins is going to
All
start
right,
us.
we're going to go ahead and get started. And so, once again, thank you for having us here in order to support this work. We know that this work is very important for the board. And so today we want to review the board goal language and the learning plan. We want to share updates on board member learnings, and then we really want to engage and outline on the next steps. And so as you guys are aware, last time we were together, we were able to go over the PDP template, and we were able to dive into those things and understand what those things were. So you guys already have that information. And so at this time, we really wanted to revisit the goal. And the goal was by January 2027, board members will acquire and document strategies to increase student achievement and fiscal responsibility through leveraging community resources, partnerships, and educational opportunities. And so that was the goal. That was the goal that was established. We want to make sure that that is going to be the final goal, or if there's an opportunity where somebody would want to make some adjustments to that for recommendations and considerations.
No, I think this is the final goal, yeah.
Okay. And so let's go ahead and move forward and let's begin to talk about the learning plan. There you go.
Thank you. So what you can see here is this is the learning plan that was adapted to support that goal. In the last ad hoc meeting, we reviewed the purpose, scope, and how to use the community mapping initiative, as that is a support of the goal focused on community engagement, a way that board members can locate partners in their district or anywhere in the county. But the other steps of the learning plan were to explore current policy and regulatory requirements around community supports, to use a common tool to map assets that is going to include models that are cost savings, things that you see that are academically effective, things that might be existing assets so you think we should expand throughout the district or the community, identify which partnerships you're observing are having impact, as well as gather input from school leaders, community partners, district departments as you might meet with them, and also to share findings and recommendations with one another and district leadership. And so today we are going to use the tool a little bit and practice you all sharing findings and recommendations so that you are familiar with the tool and ready to introduce it to the full board whenever you meet with them to share this learning plan overall. Are there any thoughts or reflections that you'd like to share about that learning plan before we start digging in?
The only thing that I want us to keep in mind is that we know that the goal says by January 27. So essentially, we only have about 6 months. So I want us to really focus on the short-term goals and not the long-term student achievement goals. I just want to level set that for everybody so that we're not thinking that this is for us to see some movement and success in regard to student achievement. But this is more of what is the board doing to make sure that we are documenting and really engaging with community resources.
Yes.
That makes sense, because really, when you think about this work, it's not about impacting student outcomes, it's about your professional learning right now.
Right.
And what's out there.
Right.
Yep. Okay. All right, so we thought we would spend just a little bit of time, because I know a lot of times when you go out and do professional learning, you're not thinking about, oh, I need to record this on the template or anything like that. So right now, we're going to give you about 5 minutes just to think about any type of professional learning you've had. So for example, maybe you went to the Family Engagement Summit and you went to some sessions there, and you might want to just like think about things that you've seen and just jot them on Post-it notes. And then we're going to practice actually recording those on the template, and that way you'll have that experience and ready to roll it out for the board. Okay?
Okay. Are you talking about professional learning, just like with we did here?
Yes, any professional learning you've had, like it might be...
For the board?
Yes, for your board.
So even like, school board associate, anything?
It could be
That's right.
anything you've had, yes.
And the way the tool is designed, it also supports the goal. So it also might be something more informal, but something you learned when you met with a partner could also be captured in the tool. So it might be your more formal PD, like something that gives you continuing education credits type of thing, or it might be, I met with these partners and this is the takeaway that I learned that I want to make sure I share.
It could even be a document that you've read, could be professional learning as well, so it really is wide open. And we're going to set the timer for 5 minutes, but that doesn't mean you can't have more than 5 minutes, so we'll just see at the end of 5 minutes if you need more time, okay? there anyone that would need additional time, or is 5 minutes enough? Okay, great. All right, so next, what we'll do is just kind of go around the table, and you can share a PL experience that you've had. And Leanne is going to try and document it on the form so that we can see, are there any adjustments to the form that you guys made, okay? Is there anybody that would like to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, great.
So now this was not within this year, but the IEL National Community Schools and Family Engagement Conference, and that's the Institute for Educational Leadership. That's what IEL stands for. But one of the sessions that I went to focused on community schools and just like how to initiate them, strategies around districts building community schools. We got to hear from different districts on how they initiated them. We learned about like how to build our elevator pitch when sharing what the benefits of community schools, learning about the pillars of community schools. We also learned about the NEA model, and because I think there are like 2 different models, and then just like the overall benefits to student learning, absenteeism, bringing the community together, shared leadership, those types of things.
Leanne, can you make that just a little bit bigger so that they can review it? Okay. Did Leanne capture that? Okay, great. And let's just see if we can play with some of the things here, like context. So, would that have been national? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember who put the training on, or would you have access to that in any place?
The certain sessions, oh gosh, I'm sure I have access to it somewhere, but I'd have to like look for it.
So if you do and you can add any of that information, that would be great. I think the nice thing with this template is going forward, you'll know, oh, wait, I need to grab that, because otherwise we just don't think about it when you're in a session.
Right.
That is a good idea.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Anything else to add to that one?
Did you want to give us guidance on, or what are your thoughts around like the evidence of impact?
Well, I think you had some, you said there was evidence of impact for absenteeism, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's put that
So
in.
I guess I put some of those
Yeah,
that should have been in this section.
Yep. Absenteeism.
Achievement.
I guess community partnerships.
and a lot of times as you guys are going through this, when you're in those sessions, sometimes they'll give you a data slide or something like that, or you can take a picture of their data and we can just link it right in this document as well
Okay.
in the future.
But yeah, I think that's.
Okay, perfect. Should we just,
Spell your name right, 2 O's.
It's Gordon, right?
D-O-N.
D-O-N.
Yeah. Yes, 2 O's.
2 O's.
Not an O and an A. Not an O and an A.
So I'm new enough that I haven't been to any professional learning for this yet, but what I did do is I met with a community member who plays orchestra instruments and wanted to advocate for, and he is an orchestra instructor, and he wanted to advocate for more like orchestra availability within schools, so he wanted to know how he could help, basically bring more free lessons or help support that as an after-school thing, because he felt very strongly that having orchestra available on top of just band, and having music available in general was really important to the schools. I do have his name.
Great.
His name is Doug, D-O-U-G, Nestler, Nestler. And I have contact info. And so, like, as I ended up connecting him with Jeremy and Tucker, and I'm not sure where they've gone from there, but hopefully he's going to be more involved, and it would save, like, cost savings would be like, probably having volunteer instruction, and plus he was going to look into having instrument rental fees covered, so.
Perfect, thank you.
So I wrote down a couple of things because I've done the School Board Association training quite a few times, and you do breakout rooms.
Okay.
So I know I have lots of notes from that. I don't have all of that with me, but we did do, there was 2 AI information breakouts. And we talked about some of they did a conversation, and they did a presentation, and then there was a lot of Q&A. And with the Q&A, people did share resources of different things there. So, I could get that, I just don't have that now.
That's fine, because this is your template, so from this
Right.
point on, you guys just have access to it and can add whatever you want.
So they talked about safety, and they talked about how they would reach kids, parents, and train the teachers, professional development, and then also like takeaways that they could provide to families to make them aware. Because we talked about, well, what would you do proactively to be safe, with your children? So
This was an organization that specializes in AI, or?
This was one of the breakout groups, but yes, it was,
Okay.
it was an organization that they had there. So when you go to the School Board Association, it's like 3 days, and
Yeah, I'm going in July.
so you have like a bunch of these things, and then you have breakouts between.
I don't
each
get to
one.
go to the beach.
We did do one, I think, Chris stayed for this because we were both in the same room. So I have the initial notes, but then he said that he was going to save some of it, so he could provide some, and it was around the safety zones around schools, and it had to do with like the red light cameras, not the red light cameras, like the arms and different things that you can do that are stationed at the school, like in the ground. So
Okay.
they had like the certain devices that were supposed to help, and I think Chris had talked about that. One of them I did was for cell phones. They were working on the Yonder package, but we've already established our cell phone policy and did not have to spend all that money for that. There were some other ones, I don't know if you want me to list them all, but, and then I did a whole bunch of training with the COUN. We did like legislative update impacts. We did the board roles versus superintendent, which I know we've covered that many different ways. Robert's rules. We had a State Board of Education speaker come, and she came to talk to us about, how things work from the DPI down to the different districts. She also talked about the different roles. And then they went over some studies, impact studies with the fiscal differences between districts across the nation and how much they spend per student, where the focus is spent, and like the differences in how their funds affected proficiency scores and the infrastructure, all different things. So they had it was just a whole lot of data and charts. That was with them. And then I recently went, this isn't necessarily professional development, but I guess kind of in a way, went to Rise Charter School, and they were doing a pilot with a chef, and it was about expanding into schools, all schools. So they wanted to partner with us as well to find affordable ways to get healthier food into our schools by saving on waste. So the whole idea was to cook to need rather than to cook for the supply. And therefore you save, and you only cook as you go along. And believe it or not, he had put out a Facebook ad just to see the interest, and there were plenty of chefs that were actually interested, because if they have families especially, this is one example that he saw repeatedly, they preferred those hours and our benefits, even though the salary would not be what they would do, but they would have to work nights and weekends when they had a family. That's not ideal. So sometimes this was more keep it at home kind of thing. So he got a lot of, so they're working on the costs with that. So I'm going to stay tuned with them.
And do you have the contact name for
Yes,
that
I
one?
do.
Okay.
And I can get that for you before the meeting's over.
Okay, well, you can just put it in the template. Yeah, that's fine.
And then the Alicia Project is something that, that's another thing, it's like another source out there. She has been all over the United States, and she works with cybersecurity both for children, for students, and for parents. So she comes in and she works with schools, and she has per age presentations, and she talks about her story, and she talks about how, you know, she was, I mean, she's very young looking, so she really relates to the kids, and she was a victim of cyber stalking, security issues, and she got kidnapped, and she was in People magazine, she was on Oprah, she was in People Time, and all of those things, and she's shared her story over the years, and she's now made this Alicia Project is her project to see how she can save and educate children so that they are aware and don't become victims like she did.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, and she lives in Roseville now.
Oh, she does?
She does.
I'm
She
thinking
would
of
love
her
to
for
come
summer
in.
leadership conference.
She would love to come in and join forces with Wake County.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Put her as national and local.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Yep. Those are just some of the ones that stood out.
Did anybody else have anything else to add? Or did we capture?
I did spell it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so now we're to the point that now you're looking at what are the next steps and how do we roll this out to the board so they can start and capture all their professional learning.
So I have a question though. In thinking about the types of professional learning, are we looking for just all types of professional learning, or are we looking for professional learning that specifically focuses on like community resources, partnerships?
So, yeah, so according to our stuff up here, it was community resources, partnerships, and educational opportunities.
So this was just practice filling out the form. Like, we would take out the ones that didn't relate to.
I feel like in the end, you guys were going to review them, and you were going to prioritize the ones that you wanted to pursue as a board. So I would say, rather than to say somebody's doesn't belong on there, you could just, in that review process, you'd be like, okay, yeah, there we go.
I see.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, I like that. That's neat.
So where we left it off, I think we may have left it off as we were going to create this, and now we see that we did find a way to create it, which was to align that, like, as you're reviewing things, you can give it a thumbs up, and then if you give something a thumbs up, and it doesn't really matter who is giving what, but there are 9 spaces, and that way you can just see how many people have reviewed. And then that'll be kind of a built-in prioritization, is that as people are entering their things, they can add those likes, if you will, and then we'll see, you know, as something has lots of likes, it rises on its own
Okay.
to higher priority.
I like that.
Right, I like that a lot.
Okay, so we'll turn it back over to you, and you can figure out what your next steps are going to be.
All right, team. Let me get back to the slide deck. Hold on.
Leanne, you may want to have that page up where, because there was one thing that we haven't done yet.
Oh, the learning plan.
Yes, the learning plan. I don't know if we've done that second bullet yet, or if you
Yeah.
want to still do that.
Are we at Are you asking?
Yeah, it's,
Oh, okay.
we're turning it over to you.
I mean, I think it would be beneficial for us so that it sets a floor for like where we're going with these types of community supports. Yeah, so do you all have guidance around what the current policy and requirements are?
Let me see if I can pull that up.
I think it would depend how the learning plan unfolds a little more, in my opinion,
Okay,
because depends on what you learn and what you want to do,
got you. So
what policy or regulatory requirements might be.
Well, the policies that I think that you are speaking of were the policies with regards Chair Swanson was making reference of, that you guys are required to do so many hours and things of that nature. Is that what you're referring to?
no. I just want to know if there are any like requirements or policies around what types of community supports we can, I guess,
Got you.
employ
Okay.
and use.
I'm going to have to look into that one.
Say it again.
We had a church that had come to us, and they said that the lady who was running their volunteer portion, she was a retired principal. She had a whole bunch of teachers that were retired that worked with her at the church, volunteered, and they wanted to come into one of our schools. And they reached out to a couple of schools. So the process, I think, is not exactly clear. So if we were to have a policy like that on how and who and what steps they would take, is that what you were referring to?
Yeah, but now that I'm thinking about it, I'm wondering if that step, like Dr. Alfred Keith said, if that step comes after we like engage in all of our different like community, I guess, resources. I guess we would have to explore that once we get to the step of, okay, now what are we doing next?
Like once you prioritize.
Right.
And then you figure out, okay, these are our top 3 now, is there anything that impacts that?
Right.
Okay.
Before we even talk about that, should we set some sort of expectation of what people should have done by what time?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. So, Dr. Robinson, I think we mentioned 3, everyone would do at least 3 or input at least 3.
Right, that was the initial conversation we had earlier.
Okay.
That all board members would input 3 things.
Okay. By I guess by January? Or should we say December?
I would say if we want a prioritized list by January, we should do it by the end of November and give us a month to like
Okay.
prioritize and do all that.
Okay.
Does that sound right?
Yeah, to get it started
Yeah.
so we can shape it, right?
So I'd say by the end of November.
What you thinking, Dr. Robinson?
So in listening to the conversation and understand the direction and the focus of where you're trying to go, you want to make sure that we have this done in time, so when December rolls around, everybody will at least have an idea of the intent and purpose of where you're going, thereby when January comes, it's very clearly articulated. The one thing that I wonder about is as leadership changes and things, different perspectives are in place. And so if this is something that the board wants to happen, I would say try to get it done at least by December. And so any nuances or tweaks or whatever that you guys want to do, it could be done at that time.
The other point is that we might have new board members, so it might be important to get this done by the end of October, so that way we can move on without like them saying, well, we had, we didn't get this person's stuff in because,
Right.
yeah. In fact, we will have new board members and
How many seats are up for election?
4. No, it's 1, 2, 7, and 9.
Okay.
And so, I mean, Chris is not running again, so that's a definite new person. So I think having people have all their input by the end of October is probably a good idea. It's just quick. It'll
But
come fast.
some of it might already be there.
And some of it might already be in process. I mean, I know I'm going to the SBA in July. I'm sure I'll get something from there. I mean, some of this is just talking to community members, so I don't think it should be that hard to get 3 in by the end of October.
So, both of you are the newest members.
Right.
So everybody else who has been on the board has already gone through, like they've had to attend some of these already. So they could also fill in on some of the things that they experience. And so it may not be that they have to attend 3 more, they just have to put it on the chart.
Right.
Yeah, and I think it's important for us to remember that it doesn't necessarily have to be like a professional development, like conference or session.
Right.
Like community meetings with constituents, I think are definitely worth putting on here.
Town meetings.
Yep, town meetings, listening sessions, yeah.
Excuse me, I'll be back in hopefully.
Now, are we limiting it to 3?
No,
Or
I don't
just
think we should
just
limit to
3.
3. I think everybody should at least have 3. So I'm wondering, Dr. Robinson, do you think we would be able to, or is that something that I need to talk to Chair Swanson about, introducing this at our next board retreat?
I think both and. I think if we wanted to be introduced at the next board retreat, we will have enough time to make sure everything is prepared and ready to present. And I know that the chair definitely creates the agenda, so you definitely have to touch base with him to see if he wants to add it as an agenda topic.
Okay.
Do you want us to be prepared for that, just in case?
I would say yes.
Just FYI, I am on vacation that week.
Oh, okay.
So they plan that retreat after I went away.
Understood.
We usually don't do that in July.
July.
Well, I know it's 21st because it's my birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, we have summer leadership conference right then, too.
Yes, we do. Would you think in planning for that board retreat, an activity like we did today to introduce it to everyone else?
I think that was very effective. Because then it's in the moment, and if anyone has any questions or like needs clarification on anything, it's in the moment.
Well, I think you make a valid point as well. Not only is it in the moment, it gives everybody an opportunity to reflect and start populating the document so you can have the information, so.
All right, I think we're clear on next steps. Is there anything that you all would need from us?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think that gives us what we would need.
Is there anything else you need from us? Is there anything else that you would like to see? So right now, we will come during the retreat, present the information just like we presented today, give them an opportunity to go ahead and populate the document. Is there anything else that you can think of that our team can do for you?
No, initially I was thinking, and I think it was because I was trying to access the document from my personal Gmail account, and I couldn't see the drop-down menu of the context. So I think initially I was thinking context around like the community partnerships resources type thing, so people could click. But I like the state, local, and national context. So disregard that.
And I think between now and then, if any of you can fill in more information on your row, that would be helpful just to give everyone an example of something that's all filled out. too.
Okay.
So if
if
we
you have-
go in here, it's all active?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it is accessible. Make sure that you end up in your WCPSS account. And we did that so that you all could feel comfortable sharing things like contact names and contact addresses without it being public. Of course, we know that, if the public were to request that information, we would provide it. But we would redact those specifics, just like we do with any open meetings materials. So, that would be the main thing. And if you can share that with other board members who might access it in advance, like make sure you are in your Wake County. And the reason for that is so that you can put a contact number or an email address and know that that is secure for that partner.
So just for technical,
Sure.
how do we do that?
Gotcha.
I think the only other thing is when we do present this to the rest of the board, is to just make it very clear that everybody, it is highly suggested that everybody put at least 3 and respond with the thumbs up.
We'll add a slide for that so that they've got those directions.
Okay.
How would we navigate that space if no one has anything to add? We'll just code it as such and keep it moving?
Nothing to add as in nothing at all, or nothing to add is the
They have no information to add.
I don't think that, I think the requirement is that everybody should have.
I mean, with Dr. Job and Ms. Gordon being the newest, I mean, you're just at a disadvantage because we are required each year to go. So we've done that. So I don't know that we would,
Okay.
maybe going forward, we would have that issue. Somebody might have a little time constraint depending on when the next phase would have to be filled in, but I think we would be okay with that.
Yeah, because I mean, I think in keeping it broad, like not just professional development sessions, like when we meet with constituents or when we meet with community members, like I think that's something that we can also document. So yeah, I don't think anybody should have any issue with it. I mean, because that's
I
the
just
whole
look at
purpose
things-
of the PDP plan.
No, I just look at things from all angles.
Okay.
And so just looking at the dynamics of what could be, possibly not to insinuate that it could be, but
Okay.
just to make sure that we cross our Ts and dot our Is and we have everything that you need, that's all.
I think we're good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
I will adjourn our
Shortest committee. That was the shortest.
I know, right?
There's a docu-sign that we
I can't